Hello there. Why does it take a foreigner, in the form of the US Vice President J.D. Vance, to defend the people of the UK flying their own flags? We have sunk so low in the UK that we're not even meant to proudly fly our own flag. Because as soon as we do, out come the woke lefty claims that doing so is racist, xenophobic and bigoted. And that it sends all newcomers to this country into a panic. You know, the people who came to this safe and prosperous country to make a better life for themselves, and now we're told that the sight of the flags of the country they came to for safety and or prosperity offends or terrifies them. At least the US Vice President J.D. Vance gets it. From GB News. J.D. Vance tells patriotic Britons to push back against the crazies offended by St George flag. Now I have to question whether they are crazies or if they're people with seriously anti-UK motives. People who hate this country and are here for other reasons. Otherwise, why would they hate our flags? While the Express is saying, America's new Vice President has delivered a blistering attack on critics of the English flag, telling Britons they must push back against the crazies who try to shame people out of displaying their national symbol. J.D. Vance launched the explosive intervention when quizzed about the summer's Operation Raise the Colours campaign, which saw councils in Birmingham and Tower Hamlets rip down patriotic flags from lampposts and bridges, reports The Times. These councils should spend more time and money on providing the basic straightforward services to their communities rather than tearing down the flags of the nation. Funny how the Pally flag can be flown absolutely anywhere with impunity without risk of being torn down by hordes of council workers. Isn't it? Two-tier as ever against the overwhelming majority people of the nation. And while the US Vice President is backing UK patriots, a UK council has decided that flag waving is problematic. From Guido Fawkes. Essex County Council is offering support to its staff and encouraging them to reach out if the St George's or Union Jack flags that have been put up in recent days upset them. Alternatively, they could resign and hide indoors with the blinds shut, adds Guido. In my view, they should not have to do that. The St George's and Union flags are symbols of the umbrella of safety and prosperity under which they live. A much better idea for them would be to fly the colours too. But Essex Council takes the view that flying these flags can evoke feelings of discomfort and be associated with anti-immigration rhetoric. I challenge them to make the same determination when the Pally flags come out in their area. Will they be sending out the same sort of email talking about Brits and Jews being concerned, etc., etc., etc.? In fact, isn't it telling that there have been no reports about councils where these Pally flags are flown so profusely, sending out any such communications? Isn't it? And even though Hamas is proscribed, some people do seem to get away with flying that organisation's flag, as well as openly supporting that UK-banned organisation Palestine Action too. But you try and raise an Israeli flag in the UK these days and see what happens. Now please like, subscribe and comment below and join our channel membership and subscribe to our other channel Tripe and Whatnot for bite-sized snippets from this channel, links in the descriptions box below. Now I'll say it again, The woke left understand better than patriots that flags and symbols of the nation state are extremely important. That is why they are hell-bent on getting rid of ours, so they can be replaced with what they see as more acceptable woke variants. Remember all that pushing to fly the EU flag on everything or place EU plaques on everything? All part of eroding away UK national pride and replacing it with a form of self-loathing? The drive by the communist globalists to convince all Brits that they should be ashamed of themselves and of their country. Ashamed to the point that they will allow their heritage to be destroyed and their thoroughfares to be renamed, their statues to be torn down, and their village, towns and city names will be changed too in due course, no doubt. They want Brits hiding away, frightened to speak up or complain. They will have nothing and be silent. But the Brits have found their grit, and the backlash has begun. The best thing the woke can do now is join in with the patriotism. But they won't. They can't. The mere thought of that would bring them out in a rash. Now, the troubling thing is that Essex Council, which sent out that woke email, is led by the Tories, and the council has also said it won't be taking the flags down. Is this just a monumental case of fence-sitting, or trying to appease both sides, but in reality pleasing neither? Now, Essex Council has agreed to go for an Essex County Council, Southend-on-Sea City Council and Thurrock Council Mayoral Combined County Authority, or MCCA. Something that allowed them, like many councils, to delay last May's council elections until that reorganisation is completed. You'd think they had a political death wish, what with Reform UK having already overtaken the Tories in national polling, wouldn't you? Maybe Reform UK would have control of that council had the elections not been postponed. On this issue, the Reform UK leader Nigel Farage simply said, "No wonder they didn't want elections in May." But Labour MP Rachel Maskell, who has called for the UK to recognise a state of Palestine, said, "Placing flags on lampposts and painting infrastructure is not within the law. There is good reason for this. If laws are breached, societies can break down and we all ultimately lose." I would say we also lose when there's a definite two-tier legal system that works against the vast majority of us. Even though it seems that the Labour York Council, in which her constituency of York Central sits, says it won't remove the offending UK flags. Now, had we not embarked on this stupid open borders policy in the first place, we in the UK would all still be comfortable with our normally fervent but understated form of patriotism. We now face the inevitable pendulum swing. Finally, please like, subscribe and comment below, and a big shout out to our Patreon supporters and channel membership, and thank you for watching.